The Arctic is frozen over, holding many secrets under its ice. Many people have ventured into this icy tundra to learn more about it. However, despite the harsh environment, there are many things that continue to be discovered even up until today. One of these discoveries has many scratching their heads in confusion, though. When a group of researchers went out into the tundra to study a strange phenomenon, they came across something unexpected. This discovery was so strange that some people believe it could change history forever. What did these researchers find? What will this discovery mean for our world? Let's find out in today's episode of Fake Tank Friday. This story takes place in 2016 when a team of researchers from Louisiana State University set out into the Arctic tundra to study a strange occurrence that had been reported by local Inuit hunters. These hunters had said that they were seeing dead whales that washed up on shore with huge holes in them, almost like they were deliberately punctured. They also reported seeing enormous tusks lying around the Arctic. Something big and scary must be living in the Arctic Ocean, they thought. At first, scientists dismissed the tales as being false. There are many stories of sea monsters told throughout history, so they didn't think much of it. After all, there are no animals big enough to do this, or are there? The scientists headed out to the Arctic in order to prove once and for all that there was nothing in the Arctic Ocean at all. That would explain the holes in the whales and the giant tusks lying around. After trudging through the snow for some time, they came across some tracks that looked unusual. They continued to follow these tracks and soon realized they had found something incredible. As they followed the tracks further, they eventually led them to a large cavern. And when they finally got inside, what they saw left them stunned. Inside the cave was a massive creature made entirely of ice. This creature was so big that it took up the entire cavern by itself. It was enormous, so much so that it was hard to believe that such a creature could actually exist. But it was real, and the creature was unlike anything they'd ever seen before. It appeared to be some kind of mammal, but much larger than any they knew. Its body was shaped like a whale's, but it was covered in a thick layer of ice. The ice made the creature look like an iceberg, except it was clearly shaped like an animal. Was this the source of the mysterious holes in the whales that had been found earlier? Could this giant beast be behind all of the chaos? As they moved closer to get a better look, they noticed giant holes in its side, just like the ones in the whales. This meant that their theory was correct. This giant beast was somehow responsible for creating those holes in the whales. But how? How could something so big live in the ocean without anyone knowing? And why did it suddenly stop creating these holes? Did it go extinct, or is it still out there today? All of these questions raced through their minds as they tried to figure out exactly what this strange creature was. They began to chip away at the ice in order to get a better look. And as they chipped away, they uncovered something even more incredible. The creature wasn't just some random monster that happened to be stuck in a block of ice. No, this thing was once a living, breathing animal. It was a mammoth. This wasn't just any mammoth, though. This was a woolly mammoth, which hasn't been seen since the last ice age. How could this be possible? The only mammoths that we know of still alive today are on Wrangel Island, which is a small island in the Arctic Ocean. These mammoths haven't evolved at all since the last ice age, and are still perfectly preserved. The problem is that this island is tiny and there is no way that it could support a breeding population of mammoths. This means that at some point in the past, a large group of mammoths must have migrated off the island. But where would they have gone? Would they have swam miles across the freezing cold ocean to get somewhere else? Or did they walk across a land bridge that doesn't exist anymore? We don't know for sure. All we know is that at one point, mammoths did leave this island and most likely went extinct along the way. That is, except for the one that was found in the ice, which was clearly not from this time period. It was far too big for it to be a woolly mammoth, so why was it so big? How did it manage to survive while all the others died off? And how did it get trapped in the ice? Scientists were stumped. They couldn't come up with any answers as to why this mammoth was so big. However, they did notice that the creature was missing its tusks. This was odd because mammoths are known for having huge tusks. Scientists wonder if perhaps these tusks belong to the tusks that were found lying around by the Inuit hunters. If this was true, then it would mean that this mammoth was male. Male mammoths usually have larger tusks than females. Perhaps this one grew to be larger than the rest because of its tusks. Maybe it used its tusks to dig for food underneath the ice, or maybe it used them to fight other mammoths for dominance. Whatever the reason, this mammoth clearly wasn't ordinary. As they continued to chip away at the ice, they uncovered more and more of the creature's body. They noticed that it had a thick layer of blubber, which would have helped it to stay warm in the freezing cold water. They also noticed that it had a thick coat of fur, which would have kept it warm on land. It seemed that this mammoth was perfectly adapted to living in the Arctic, which raised another question. Why did it go extinct if it was so well adapted to its environment? Why didn't it manage to survive? Scientists believe that the mammoth may have been killed off by humans. Humans are known to have hunted mammoths in the past, and it is possible that they were the cause of its extinction. However, this doesn't explain why this one mammoth managed to survive for so long. Perhaps it was simply lucky. Maybe it managed to avoid human hunters, or maybe they just hadn't found it yet. Whatever the reason, this mammoth clearly managed to survive for a very long time, but how long exactly? Scientists weren't able to determine the age of the mammoth, but they believe it died sometime during the last ice age. This means that it could be hundreds or even thousands of years old. This is impossible to say for sure. As they continued to excavate the site, they uncovered more evidence that humans had been in the area. They found arrowheads and other tools that had been used for hunting. This suggests that humans may have been the ones who killed the mammoth. But again, this is only a theory. We can't be sure. What we do know is that this mammoth was an incredible discovery. It is one of the most exciting paleontological finds in recent years, and it is sure to teach us a lot about mammoths and the Ice Age. This discovery also raises the possibility that other Ice Age creatures could still be out there, perhaps living in the Arctic Circle or maybe in other parts of the world. Who knows? What do you think? Is there anything out there that we don't know about? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos. Thanks for watching. See you next time.